This deck is trying really hard to resolve Switcherooroo. This card says that if you control the same number of monsters as your opponent, switch control of all monsters. And because Paleozoics can easily be special summoned on our opponent's turn, we can modulate the number of monsters on our side of the field. And this way we can, for example, summon 3 Paleozoics on our side of the field if our opponent has 3 monsters, activate Switcherooroo, and then we switch control of all monsters on the field. We are playing some spicy cards to resolve Switcherooroo as well. We are playing Cosmic Compass, for example. When this is normal summoned, we can special summon any number of Compass tokens up to the number of monsters our opponent currently controls. And because Switcherooroo still allows switching control of tokens, for example, you can just normal summon Cosmic Compass, special summon 4 tokens if your opponent has 5 monsters, activate Switcherooroo, and you gain 5 really good monsters, and your opponent has pretty useless monsters on their side of the field. There's no deck that can really use the Paleozoics except maybe Sprite, so your opponent is not going to be happy when you switch control of all monsters on their side of the field. Let's jump right into the deck profile. First, the monsters. We are playing 3 Cosmic Compass. As I said earlier, when this is normal summoned, we can special summon any number of tokens up to the number of monsters our opponent controls. This really helps with the Switcherooroo effect because it's essentially just 1 card plus Switcherooroo you need to resolve the Switcherooroo. And because it summons so many tokens, you can even make a 5-headed Link Dragon with it. It's kind of silly what this card can do. Then 3 Curry Bandit. During the end phase of the turn this card was normal summoned, we can tribute it, and then we excavate the top 5 cards of our deck, add an excavated spell or trap from our deck to the hand, and then we send the rest to the graveyard. Because the Paleozoics really want to be in the graveyard, this is just great to essentially mill 4 Paleozoics to the graveyard, and then you can, for example, grab a Pot of Extravagance if you excavated something like that for the next turn to use. Then we are playing 3 Lilith, Lady of Laments. This is our last monster in the main deck, and it's just really good at searching any normal trap you want to use. Now, the spells. We are playing 3 Pot of Extravagance in the main deck. This is by far the best draw spell you can play in the main deck, because Card of the Mice stops you from special summoning, so you can't use the Cosmic Compass effect. And you need a discard for some cards, so you can't use any cards that discard in the end phase. And Pot of Desires just destroys your deck too much, so Extravagance is really the best draw card in the deck to play. And now the traps. We are playing 3 Paleozoic Pikaia. This can discard a Paleozoic card to draw 2 cards. And like all the other Paleozoic traps, when this is in the graveyard and a trap card is activated, we can special summon it to our side of the field, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then 3 Marella. This can just send any trap from our deck to the graveyard. Both Marella and Pikaia really help to fill up the graveyard with Paleozoic names. Then 3 Canadia, this is just a Book of Moon. 3 Dinomishus, this can banish any face-up card on the field. 3 Oleonoides, this can destroy any trap on the field. And 3 Linchoila, this can return any banished card to the graveyard. This means that we can recycle our Paleozoic names when we banish them after they left the field. Then 3 Switcherooroo. This is just hilarious to resolve. Most of the time, if you resolve this against your opponent, they are just gonna look dazed and confused because they don't think that such a card actually exists. It's a creature swap for all the monsters on the field. As a quick effect, on your opponent's turn, it's really cool to resolve this. Then 3 Trap Trick, because with this we can just get access to any normal trap in our deck. 2 Needlebug Nest, we are playing this at 2 because of Trap Trick, and 2 Titanocider. You could play Lost Wind over this, but I really like Titanocider, and the artwork is really cool, so I'm playing Titanocider. Lost Wind might be the better choice, but I really like that Titanocider doesn't banish itself from the graveyard. This way you can just recycle it over and over again. Yeah, but if you want to, you can play Lost Wind instead. We are playing 2 Paleozoic Opabina. This allows us to activate Paleozoic trap cards from our hand, and once per turn it can add any Paleozoic card from our deck to the hand. The more important cards are being played at 2, and the less important cards are going to be played at 1 because we're playing Extravagance. Then we are playing 2 Toads. Toad is just great. It's an Omni-Negate, and even if you banished 1 with Extravagance, you can still recycle the other one with Toad's effect. And 2 Sky Cavalry Centuria. This can't be destroyed by battle while it has an Xyz material, and it's really cool removal. Then the one-offs, we are playing a Paleozoic Anomaly Karis. This is removal, and it can set your traps from your deck, but it requires 3 or more level 2 monsters. That's why it's kinda hard to make. We are only playing it at 1. 1 Cursed Javelin. This can negate monster effects and it can reduce their attack to 0. It sometimes comes up, but rarely ever does, and it's not a quick effect as well. That's why we are only playing it at 1. Then 1 number 45. This can negate any face-up card on the field, so it's a bit better than Cursed Javelin, but it doesn't reduce the attack to 0, and it's not a quick effect as well. But it's kind of cool, so we are playing it as 1 as well. And 1 Zeus. Yeah, if you own more Zeus, you can play more Zeus, but I think 1 is fine. Sometimes you banish it with Extravagance, but let's be honest, you don't always open Extravagance, so 1 Zeus is fine. Then the Link monsters, we are playing all of them at 1. We are playing a Paleozoic Camp Roaster. This can protect your spell and traps, but it needs 2 Paleozoic monsters, and you would rather just make a Paleozoic Xyz at that point. 1 Linkuriboh, this is great because you can use the tokens, summon with Cosmic Compass for this. 1 Orsa, you can link into this with the Cosmic Compass as well, and this can steal a Fenrir from your opponent's graveyard if they have a Fenrir in their graveyard, so this is really nice. Also, if it's destroyed by Battle Card Effect, you can just add a Cosmic Compass from your deck to the hand as well, which provides you great follow-up. Because you can link into this, and you can link it to a Linkuriboh with the tokens. You can make a Topologic Bomber Dragon only with the Cosmic Compass as well, or you can link into this with the monsters you stole from your opponent. And finally, the probably best card in the extra deck, we are playing a 5-headed Link Dragon. You can make this just by normal summoning Cosmic Compass if your opponent has 4 monsters on their side of the field. It's really, really good. This is unaffected and it has 5000 attack, so it's, yeah, it's pretty nice to have this on your side of the field. Well, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile, and I hope you enjoy this deck if you test it out. It's a really, really fun deck, and it's just the best way to play Paleozoics, in my opinion. Probably not the best way from a competitive standpoint, but it's the best way if you want to have fun and if you want to play some cards that other people probably haven't seen yet. Then I wish you all a very nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!